Mayor, members of the council, Nancy Kaiser, Parks and Recreation Director. Thank you for hearing this item tonight. For many, many, many years, the Arts and Cultural Foundation of Antioch has been a valued partner and sort of department arm of the city of Antioch, supporting community-wide civic art programs, sponsoring and providing activities for the community, bringing our artists into the community, and providing collaborative projects, a place to exhibit and display their works, bringing entertainment and community connections through our summer concerts and many, many, many other programs that many generations here in Antioch have enjoyed. The relationship that the city has with the Arts and Cultural Foundation of Antioch is in the form of an agreement. And with the creation of the fiscal year 2017 to 2019 budget, we wanted to coincide that agreement with this fiscal year and seek the adoption of the resolution approving the services and receive direction from council for funding in the fiscal year. The staff report has outlined the funding available. Traditionally, the Civic Arts Fund includes funding from our transient occupancy tax supported by the general fund. Over the years, as noted in the staff report, the amount of funding in our TO tax has declined, so the general fund continues to support this effort, and the Arts and Cultural Foundation provides services that matches the agreements that we enter into in terms of funding and the activities and services provided. The executive director of the Arts and Cultural Foundation of Antioch is here this evening, Diane Gibson-Gray, so between the two of us we can answer any questions for you as you consider this item. And I would invite Diane to come down now.
Councilmember Ogerchop.
You know, I'm looking at the fees, arts and cultural, and from what Ms. Kaiser has just said, it appears that Ms. Gibson-Gray does a lot of work for the city and for the arts and cultural. And in the TOT or TOT, for the fiscal year 17-18 is $58,000. So I don't know, and I'd have to hear from Ms. Gray, Diane Gibson-Gray, Mrs. Diane Gibson-Gray, sorry, whether or not, I mean, that's a huge decrease in funds. That's $12,000, $11,050 a year that's being reduced towards that. So I would like to see from Ms. Gibson-Gray if her hours are going to be reduced or if this is something that you're looking for?
Yes, the hours are reduced. They started being reduced last fiscal year. I've gone from 5 days a week, which we know meant 40 plus. Then I went to 4, and now I'm at 3 days a week.
Was that at your request? Is that you're wanting to reduce the hour?
It matched the funding. If you only get so much, you can only...
I agree. That's what I'm asking. So it wasn't something that you requested. You didn't go forth and say, okay.
No.
So that
and I'm grateful for every penny we still get.
Yeah, the city has worked closely with Ms. Gibson-Gray to ensure that the scope of services matches the funding that the city is able to provide, both in TO tax and general fund.
Well, I guess it goes back to my concerns because I know, and I've been at all these events, and I know what the events are. And as you just said, there's a ton of events that she does, especially at the Lynn House. I just feel that it's a low number myself.
Well, our budget is $82,000. You provide 51. I raised 20 in grants. And we have a reserve left over from all the years that you were quite generous. We should be able to last 2 years, making our budget go to $82,000, but we will not be in business in 2 years at this level of service. We have 2 years left.
How much do you dip into your reserves each year?
20.
About 20,000.
Yeah, but then I'm also good at getting people to give me things for free, so I budget for 82, and then sometimes I don't spend it all. For example, I forgot to pay myself twice last year, so that was a savings. But we are able to still manage, and like I said, 2, maybe possibly 3, but I'm betting on 2.
Councilmember Thorpe.
So why is funding levels decreasing?
The funding levels have decreased in the TOT Civic Arts Fund because that reflects the amount of tax we receive based upon hotel and motel occupancy. So the city of Antioch has lost a hotel here, so that fluctuates. That there affects the fees that we collect. So our contribution, as Diane indicated, the past 2 fiscal years has been $51,100, and the projections from our finance department show that we anticipate $58,000 in that fund in 17-18, with a reduction to $39,000 in 18-19. So in order to continue supporting the Arts and Cultural Foundation, the city has made up the difference in general fund.
And also out of Mary Rocha Child Care Fund in years. And my understanding of the fee, and Dawn can probably support it, is TOT gives 30% of that to the transit occupancy tax to the arts and culture. In some cities, they've raised it to 12 to 15%. If you go stay in the city, it's 15%. One way to increase the money is to increase the amount of the TOT.
Councilmember Overchuck had a question.
Well, my question is, maybe we should be looking at this. Is there a reason we're looking at it now instead of when we're doing the budget review? So can we kind of hold off on this till the budget review to see if there's any more funds to put towards this?
You certainly can do that. The reason we are bringing the item before you now was to receive direction so that it could be included in the budget documentation and presentation that comes before you later this year.
Okay, but then it would cement us basically kind of in if we made a decision tonight on which yes. So I kind of would like to see, I mean, I don't really want to see the reduction because I know what she does. So I would rather maybe see if there's some funds in the general fund when we do the budget. It's just a thought.
If we approve tonight's request and then look for further funding while we go through budget, that is
And you have 2 years. I mean, we can exist the way we are now. And to be honest, 3 days a week, I'm working more. So it's actually a win for the city. But I've been doing this for quite a while. And when I went to 4 days a week, I didn't really cut back. So this time I have cut back. So you kind of you'll feel some of the things changing, but you'll still get the full suite of offerings, the Lynn House Gallery, the summer concerts. Art for Schools is underway. Please come by and see them. So we're still doing well, and we really appreciate the support of the Recreation Department in the city and Public Services, who has to come down there quite a bit because it's a very old building.
So if we were to approve this tonight, I'm assuming you and Mrs. Kaiser have gotten together and you're presenting this budget to us.
Right, and 3 days a week is fine. I'm not having a problem with that. I mean, if you guys can find some more money, great. It wouldn't come out of our reserves. But 3 days a week, maybe 4, I really don't want to go back to full-time job. I would not want to do 5 days. 4 maybe. Paid.
Councilmember Wilson.
Yeah, you do a wonderful job with the amount of funds that you have. Also, I'm really impressed that you go out and you raise the money on your own. We have groups here that don't even raise the fraction amount that
the Lesher Foundation, for the past, I've been there in the position, I think, 14 years. And for 13 of the years, they have provided $15,000. And due to the bands who give me very good rates, I'm able to put on the concerts for that price. That's unheard of. Other cities get far more than that. In addition, Keller Canyon, Federal Glover, they've been very generous to us.
Which is great. And it's interesting because this kind of ties back to the gentleman who did our presentation that you're getting the funding from our transit occupancy tax, which basically are hotels. Mm-hmm. And so obviously our hotel business is not doing all that great. So that's why we're seeing a reduce in funding. So,
and I believe if they stay there long term, they don't have to pay it.
Yeah. So this might be a little off topic, and the city attorney's gonna have to correct me if I'm wrong on this. Is it possible that we can have a presentation on our TOT and the hotels in the city of Antioch and just kind of learn more of where, because it seems like we're losing some funding?
That's certainly a presentation that council can direct staff to bring forward. It sounds like this might be a good component of a budget discussion or a budget workshop, so council could certainly direct staff to do that.
I think there's potential, some revenue that we're missing in there. So.
And another conversation I had with Mr. Duran was if he wanted to do other things outside of the contract, we could contract for that amount. For example, if something was going on in the city, he needed the support of arts and culture, it wasn't in the contract, we can always do an add-on.
Very good. If there's no other questions, this is a public hearing. Are there any public comments? Very good. Oh, this is,
Mr. Mayor, I
Do I
believe
have
we
a
are on the regular items
we're
of the
now
agenda,
under-
yes.
Okay.
So again, staff is just requesting that the city council consider the resolution and adopt it so that approves the services agreement that we can create with arts and cultural, and then again provide us some direction on incorporating the budget for our Civic Arts Fund.
Do we have a motion? Yes, Councilmember Tiscarino.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and move forward with the motion with the caveat that we'll have that discussion with arts and culture and our recreation department, our staff to hopefully find a mechanism to get some funds to help this worthy cause, because it's again I really appreciate what Diane does and what she does for the city and what she does for the foundation, and I think it deserves a consideration. So I'll move forward with those caveats.
We have a motion on item number 5. Do we have a second? Second from Councilmember Ogerchuk. There's no discussion. Please cast your votes. There are 5 affirmative votes. Item number 5 passes. Item number 6, update on the status of disc golf recreation.